to be clear, in shutting down, which we're in the process of doing, shutting down USAID, the reason for that, as opposed to simply, trying to do some minor house cleaning, is that as we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we have actually just a bowl of worms. And so at the point at which you don't merely, like, if you've got an apple and it's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a bowl of worms, it's hopeless. And USAID is a bowl of worms. Mm-hmm. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Black and White Politics. You know, it's your boy Donovan Jackson. And I'm here to talk to you guys today about this crazy stuff that's going on. What crazy thing, you may ask? I know, right? Honestly, I had to think for a second. I was like, what was it? We'll get to it. But doesn't it feel like this administration just continuously throws so many things at you at once? It almost just feels like it's purposely made to tire you out. It's purposely made to make you be like, man, there's so much dark stuff going on. I'm checking out just for the sake of my own sanity. Doesn't that sound like what's happening right now? They keep shoving so much stuff down our throats that we have to pick and choose our battles. We have to decide, do I even want to look at the news today? Is it all just going to be bad stuff? My life feels better when I don't read the news. But see, that's how they get you. That's how they get that man as king, okay? Like they want to do. Have y'all seen some of the bills people are trying to pass in states where it says like, oh, you can't vote against Donald Trump's immigration plans, or, you know, Trump and only Trump can run for a third term, you know, leaving out people like Obama or Clinton or W. Like, there's so many things going on right now that they don't want you to pay attention to. That's why they pull antics like Trump saying he wants Greenland and all this other stuff going on, wants to annex Canada. It's because they're trying to hide the more insidious stuff that they're trying to do, which we will get into in this episode, okay? But, you know, for the next 4 years, we're going to have to deal with Mr. Trump, our president. We're going to have to deal with him saying ridiculous stuff like this for the next 4 years.
Mr. President, you have today blamed the diversity elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level.
Look, I won't want that man anywhere near my chess team, okay? That'd be a very garbage-ass team. Look, he says it's common sense. It's common sense to blame woke and DEI for these plane tragedies. It's common sense to blame woke and DEI for the California wildfires. And, you know, that's not all he's doing in the name of common sense. Y'all remember he's trying to eliminate all these other departments and agencies. He's trying to get rid of non-political, like lifelong civil servants. He's trying to get rid of inspectors generals. He's trying to order a federal spending freeze for the whole government. He's announcing tariffs on Canada, Mexico. Like, didn't you just renegotiate NAFTA whenever you were in office last time? And you said you made such a good deal, and now you're acting like it's so trash that you have to redo it all over again? Like, it's just ridiculous. And now, you know, as you saw in the opening video, we have our shadow president, Mr. Musk, you know, the guy who's in charge of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. You remember that? And he's trying to get rid of the USAID, or I'll just call it USAID, which is an agency that helps, you know, countries that are going through disasters, disease, you know, all kinds of stuff. Help prop them up. It's an important thing. Like, tons of humanitarian aid. And they're trying to get rid of it. In all, in the name of common sense, I guess, right? But I have this little NPR article for you guys. I want to read a little bit from that because it goes a little bit more in depth about what's going on here. Elon Musk is barreling into government with Doge, raising unusual legal questions. Elon Musk has launched a campaign from inside the federal government to radically upend agencies, exercising a level of control so sweeping that it's even stunning former White House officials. Not surprising for this administration. You know, Trump or Musk, the world's richest man in the world, is now leading DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is part of the White House and not a cabinet agency. In recent days, it has gained access to the Treasury Department's payment systems, which are responsible for processing trillions of dollars of spending every year. As part of its work, DOGE workers are helping the Trump admin explore drastic cuts to the Department of Education, including the option of trying to close the department entirely, according to multiple government officials. It comes as DOGE begins its shakeup of other swaths of the federal government. The AP reported DOGE representatives have also gained access to classified information at the U.S. Agency for International Development, a decades-old foreign aid agency. And Musk says he now plans to shut it down, and you heard that earlier in the video. And now Musk's cut-slashing unit is reported to be eyeing a way to gain access to the system of small business admin, which gives loans and support to small firms. President Trump takes improving government efficiency very seriously. Although it's a humorous name, I think DOGE will have a very serious impact on government waste and fraud abuse. And then Musk framed his vision of DOGE's work in ideological terms, disparaging the tyranny of bureaucracy as unaccountable to American voters. Later in the conversation, he called for the wholesale removal of regulations. Musk has a long history of sparring with and outright defying federal regulators who oversee his sprawling array of businesses. Some would say they're spiraling, at least Twitter was a year ago or two, when the adpocalypse, when the investors were trying to leave. Or the ad investors, anyway. As DOGE officials move quickly to get their hands on the inner workings of the federal government, Musk has been posting through it on X, the social media platform he owns, suggesting routine payments of the Treasury are violating the law and asserting that USAID is a criminal organization without providing evidence to support these claims. Musk did not return requests for comment. Isn't it kind of weird? Isn't it kind of weird how Republicans are always making these claims with no evidence? No evidence whatsoever, but they always say this stuff. They always do that. Can someone please explain it to me, please? And this is seriously why we need to be careful about who we elect. We need to be careful about who we allow to run the government, okay? Because right now, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has his hands inside all the government cookie jars, okay? And every decision that's being made, it can potentially impact his many businesses. And whenever he's the head of DOGE looking for things to cut, do you really think he's shown the character so far to make decisions that are going to help normal everyday Americans? Or do you think he's going to make decisions that are going to benefit his businesses as the richest man in the world? You know, I haven't seen any evidence that he's willing to help normal, lower class, middle class folks. You know, because it seems like Republicans, when they're looking for things to cut, they're always going to cut programs that help the middle class or the poor. And they always are like, well, we can use this money for something else. We can use this money for other stuff. What is this other stuff you want to use the money for? It seems like the only things they want to do, cut the taxes on people like Elon. They want to give them a tax break. Okay? And how are they going to pay for those tax breaks? Well, by cutting the benefits to the poor or the middle class. I think that's pretty obvious. They've literally wrote the playbooks for these things. So, with all that being said, I think moving forward, you know, we're going to have to fight back. We're going to have to fight them back. because otherwise they might install that man as king. If we get apathetic, if we start ignoring everything, that's what's going to happen. They're going to keep pushing and pushing until we're literally wobbling off the edge and they're just like, well, see ya. You know? We can't just keep rolling over like weak Democrats. You know? We got to fight back. And over this weekend, the DNC actually had an election for new leadership to replace the outgoing chair, Jamie Harrison. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be a little honest. I was a little disappointed, you know, because I wanted Ben Wickler to win. I thought he had an amazing track record out in Wisconsin. But, you know, I'm not too upset just because I think that the current guy, Ken Martin, he has a pretty good record out in Minnesota. So, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to be upset with him. You know, I wanted Ben, but we'll take Ken, I guess. It rhymes. Ben, Ken. Okay, we're not going to do rhyming here. All right. But guess what? We're going to go listen to what Mr. Martin had to say at his victory speech.
Now look, it's time for our party to do three things. First is to unite. We have to rebuild our coalition. We have to ignore the noise. We have to focus with intensity on the goal ahead, which is winning elections to improve people's lives. Second, we need to go on offense. Trump's first weeks have shown us that what happens when amateur hour meets demolition derby, right? And at the same time, he's invited all these billionaires into the Oval Office to mine, extract, and profit off of our government. This is our time. Right now, it's the people's government. It's not another resource for ultra elites to exploit. Lastly, and the third is we're going to take tonight to enjoy the moment, and we're going to build new alliances, but then we're going to get to work. We're going to get to work. We're going to fight. We're going to go out there and take this fight to Donald Trump and the Republicans, and we're going to fight for working people again in this party. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you so much. It's the honor of my life.
So look, y'all, while I am disappointed Ben Wickler didn't win, you know, I believe in giving people their fair shot. Because like I said, Ken seems to have a pretty good record in Minnesota. So, you know, hopefully we can take his advice and take this time out these next 2 years while we regroup. You know, we do need to reunite as a party. And obviously we need to fight against the corruption and abuse that's going to come from the Trump administration. And we're definitely going to need all hands on deck for that. So, you know, I'll hold off for now on my judgments until he has a chance to prove himself. And, you know, I think that's more than fair because, you know, I would want people to do the same for me. Just because I'm not your chosen candidate doesn't mean you shouldn't give me the chance to prove myself. And so with that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. I'm your host, Donovan Jackson. Please make sure you like the video. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. It'll help me out in the algorithm a lot, and I'd be really appreciative, y'all. Hey, but until next time, take care.